So we're on our last sail aboard Ruby Rose. It's a brand new Seawind Catamaran, and this is her Shakedown cruise. This is gonna be us soon, and I can tell you the emotions going through my head, going through my heart, watching them go through this process, it's whew.
Because whether it's new to you or a brand new boat like this one, the break-in period, this thing that we call a shakedown cruise, let's just say it should be called the beatdown cruise. Because even if you've been sailing for years, you inevitably get something wrong. And by the end, you feel humbled at best, or at worst, like absolute half-wits.
Really just reading off the screen here, nothing you can't see yourself, but the boat is moving along at about 7.5 knots. Our apparent wind speed is about 20, and our apparent wind angle is about, let's say, 50. So we left Koh Tao this morning-ish, late morning, and we are on our way to Koh Samui here in Thailand. And of course, Koh Samui is where we will be disembarking this vessel.
We got Terysa chilling over here. We got Nick chilling over here. Enjoying those big helms.
There's a lot of chill going on. It's a his and hers helm situation kind of thing. And I think I'm gonna make some lunch because it's that time. Yeah. Sandwiches?
Sandwiches.
So the running theme of this video is definitely going to be the woes of the shakedown trip, and right here is one of them. So they have these lovely bowls. They're ceramic and they have like a matte finish on the outside of them. You would think absolutely nothing of it. You think great bowl, right? If you set them down with these Korean countertops, it scratches the holy heck out of them. So, you know, now you're gonna have to silicone the bottoms. You gotta give a nice little sticky buffer in between there. But that is one of like 9 million things that they have discovered over the past few days, you know, where you're just like, you get started and your list just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing and growing of all the little things that you need to do. It's just fun. Don't have a food processor yet, so hand mashing some hummus. It'll taste like the best hummus we've ever had because it will have been hand smooshed. You might want to come back in a little while. Tomatoes. That's it, lunch is served. With a view.
It's the little discoveries that have a way of being the most annoying. Like realizing that the throw ring isn't mounted quite high enough and it keeps going out for a surf. Or heading up on deck for a nice walk, only to notice that the extrusion pole doesn't look right.
What's happened?
Oh, just checking a couple screws here in the extrusion pole. Just they look a little suspect.
Nothing big.
Nothing big. Just figuring it out.
And one more thing just got added to the list.
I've been doing most of the dishes.
You have not been doing the most of the dishes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
We have been splitting dish duty. At least 50-50. He hasn't been doing the dishes. Terysa won't weigh in. All she knows is that she has not been doing the dishes. As she should not be. That's why we're here, right? But if you are willing to weigh in, who do you think has done the most dishes? Me or Jason? I couldn't possibly say. I mean,
Switzerland.
Yeah, the two of you have been working so hard. I do drink right now.
I've done more dishes, Karen. Anyway, what do you want to say?
I was just going to say that I've been doing the dishes and I've had no problem doing the dishes.
Oh.
I haven't felt the need for you know what I wish I had right now? It's a dishwasher.
That's all I've ever thought.
I know it is. I just felt the need to point that out.
Oh, okay.
No. Okay, come with me. We are still doing about 7.5 and 8 knots. Now we're in an apparent wind angle of about 70. Just so that you can hear kind of what it sounds like. This is the forward hull, which is always, I think, the worst sort of And see, I guess only when you're bashing into it, which we're at 70 degrees now, so that's not too much. But yeah. So this is what it sounds like in the forward cabin, sailing along. There's your view. Aft cabin. Watch your step. It's a little bit tight here. And here's your aft cabin. You hear a little bit, you can tell it's mostly within like the cabinetry or the doors. It's not a lot. It is quiet and comfortable right now for sure. The sea state's gotten a lot better. And there's your view. So there you go. Now you know what it sounds like down below. What?
Just behind your head, there's an approved sign on the.
Oh, yeah, that is.
This hatch is approved.
This hatch is approved. Yeah.
There's the emergency escape hatch window.
This is what it sounds like up here. We have, remember, the entire wall gone. So it's a little loud, but still, it's a nice calm space. But then just as with any catamaran, and anytime you're sailing, like people talk about, oh, if you have electric engines, it's super quiet.
The sea is noisy.
The sea is noisy, the wind is noisy, everything out here is noisy, and when you have a big hardtop, it even echoes a little bit. So people used to complain on our old videos, oh, your boat's so loud. No, sailing is loud. There's
The wind
just,
is loud.
yeah, the ocean is loud. It is what it is.
But it's a nice sound.
Yeah, it's a nice, especially downwind. Downwind's my favorite because then the waves are just sort of rolling behind you and making that lovely sound. Oh, it's my favorite.
Then it does get quiet.
Oh, it's so nice.
Can you turn this boat around just so we can give everybody an idea of what downwind sounds like? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, anything else? So you know, the shoes need polishing, like the carry around your back a lot.
Damn it! Soaked! Okay, now here comes a perfect example of a shakedown, shakeout.
Nope, you're not on. I don't. Oh, yeah, you are. You're on. Sorry.
There's a squall coming. I was asked to furl in the jib for the first time.
Hey, your sheet.
It's a seemingly simple task I've done a million times on my old boat. It's so weird because I'm on top of here. It's such a weird spot to work.
Of course it is.
Stop. Take it off. Take the blue off.
Put the clutch on. Let's get that up. Clean this properly away.
I could have easily cut this part out so I didn't look like an idiot, but it's the reality of learning a new boat.
Cue Benny Hill music.
Wow, guys. Oh, my God.
And now we have to drop the maid. How's this going to go? We do know what we're doing, I promise. She says that, but do we?
Careful up there. Our boom is swinging.
We need a little bit off the alley.
Yeah, we can.
Can you take it
And tighten the sheet if you could. Tighten the sheet.
Heading, Nick, heading.
Yeah. This is what we were talking about the other day. I have no idea what's going on with the wind. That's freaked me out. I need to pay attention all the time. 30 knots.
How's that?
It's exciting.
A lovely day of sailing, and now
Now I like your crazy squall. That's sailing. "27 knots of wind. Good call, pulling the sails down.
Yeah.
how far do you think you can see out there?
30 feet. Just enough time to stop, put the engines in reverse.
Our radar looks like we smashed a jar of jam on the bloody screen. It's pretty red. We're in the middle of a pretty big squallways. 28 with gusting 40. Which is always great to act in.
You're so excited to come here and
I don't mind getting wet. The boat is going to buck, and I'm pissed off with myself that we didn't untangle the bridle before we set off. Because now we've got another 5 minutes of unpacking it while we
hang
pull
on.
the anchor.
I'm sorry for the interruption, but can we just talk about the struggles of gallivanting from one country to the next all the time? It is a first world problem. I totally get that. But seriously, if you plan on sailing about the world too, then this does pertain to you. Because everything from like a general search query to trying to send and receive money can become a real freaking hassle. Like for example, the other day I was trying to pay a bill on Stripe and it just does not like working in certain countries. And the only way that I can get it to work is by using a VPN, which is where today's sponsor comes in, Surfshark VPN. And they've been a long-time supporter of our channel now, and there are times where we literally could not upload these videos without them, because Surfshark is an app and web browser extension that allows us to change our IP address, to virtually place ourselves anywhere in the world, to unblock apps and websites like YouTube or payment services like Stripe or even Venmo. And all I have to do is just turn on Surfshark, place myself in the USA, and voila, no more problems. And then of course there's everybody's favorite VPN use, which is avoiding geo restrictions on sites like Netflix and Amazon Prime. Plus Surfshark encrypts all of our online data and keeps all our devices safe so that we can surf in a clean cyber ocean with no ads, trackers, malware, or phishing attempts. It makes traveling between countries a lot easier for us. And right now, if you use our code WYNNS, you get 3 extra months for free. And if you're not sure if it's a good tool for you, no worries. They offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there is no risk to try it out. I will leave a link down in the description below, or you can just scan the QR code on the screen.
Where's your state of charge?
State of charge?
Yeah.
On the boat or me?
I know where yours is.
Monitoring, house battery, 100.
100%. State of charge, 100%. So they have 2 big Master Volt inverters that crank 400 amps going into that battery bank. We're at 100% now. Another thing about moving on to a new boat is you're constantly learning
All this
about your power usage and all the systems and how much solar you're bringing in, and you're watching the boom shadow move throughout the day. So in theory, you might have enough solar to run the air conditioner, but in reality, in practice, maybe you don't. So that's kind of another thing that they're sort of sorting out, and they did run the AC in their cabin one night. We were super jealous. We were like, yeah, I know, we're guests, we're crew, we'll keep ours off.
You should have had it on.
No, I didn't think it would support it. Sure enough, we woke up and they went from like 80% to like 60%. So
Yeah.
we might have, could have.
I think we could.
Right, but it's like you didn't want to be like,
Yeah.
I'm going to be the person that taps out the battery.
Yeah,
Like,
I killed, Jason Wynn killed the batteries, the lithium battery bank.
Dear Master Volt.
So we're 100% now. There might not be any more sun, so we'll see what we have in the morning and go from there.
More fun learning.
It is fun. And then you get to like, okay, so what do we use? what can we conserve? What should we turn off? Like this fan right
where
here.
have we put these ones?
I am pretty certain in the grand scheme of things that fan is not.
Now
the
we can
problem.
run the AC.
Should we talk about the ice maker? Yeah, the ice maker, the air conditioners.
3 refrigerators.
Yeah. But you turned the fan on.
Well, you know, you gotta save where you can.
We might need the fan on actually, it's pretty muggy in
It's
here.
kind of like in here, I know, okay.
That's okay, Jason, you're allowed. For the record, I was the one that cracked the shits and wanted the AC on that night. I'm like,
As you should. You gotta test
Nikki
it
was
out.
very encouraging. She's like, you deserve the air conditioning. And I'm like,
your
I
job.
do.
That's right.
What's your job to push the limits?
It's your job to learn.
Yeah, so this is it. It was for educational purposes.
Yes, yes.
Oh yeah, so they've also just got the C-Zone system in here, which is really nice because you can pretty much control everything from this one panel or your phone or from the switches throughout the boat. But the only downside is they're Mac people. And apparently you have to have a PC to connect to this. So they had the tech in the other day when they were outfitting it and he logged in with his PC. It's just the things you don't know. It's like, how would you know that you have to have a PC? So what are you guys gonna do? Like buy a cheap PC?
We're thinking about it. Yeah. That's definitely an option.
Yeah.
It's good to have for like nav as well. For
That's true.
sorry, Nick's on the phone. For navigation programs as well.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Don't jump. Don't jump.
So this one is pretty real for us. This is a continuous line furling system. So you can pull the line, either line, and it will furl in the sail or furl out the sail. We've only used this a couple times. Once on Ticket to Ride when we were in French Polynesia. That's the HH55 we sailed on. And then another time,
The Neil.
yeah, the Neil Trimaran that we were on in Florida. They can be a bugger. They're supposed to be lighter weight, more performance, and definitely better for lighter wind sails.
Explain what happened to the sail.
We had unfurled it, the wind shifted, so when they went to furl it in, they didn't have hands on both lines. So you have to have a hand on the starboard side and a hand on the port side line while you pull it in. And apparently on their monohull, they only had one line for pulling in their head sails.
And they couldn't see, unfortunately, because of that helm position thing.
So we were watching him furl it in, it looked perfect, and he's like, guys, I'm having a problem. We're like, everything looks fine. We step out on deck and the top half is just open. The sheet is just wrapped around. Then we were like, holy crap. And the continuous line furler couldn't unfurl it. It wouldn't go out, it wouldn't go in. So we just had to literally drop it. But before we left today, the chaos that was going on with us and that big screecher, we tried to furl it back in, but we couldn't make it work. The halyard that goes up into the mast, it's all twisted. And I think the only way to get it untwisted is to pull the entire line out, untwist it, and redo it, which we don't have mousing lines, so we can't do that right now. Learning new systems, I'm looking forward to it because it pushes you in it. I feel like it makes you a better sailor and, you know, always like keeps you from getting Alzheimer's and, you know, all that stuff. But at the same time, I'm like, oh man, trying to sort it out this morning. It just was 3 hours of up and down hoisting and oh yeah, it was a workout. It was, let's just say everybody wasn't using their friendliest language, mainly Nick.
I am just sitting here thinking about just the reality that is the Shakedown cruise, and I think just taking ownership of a new boat, whether it's actually new like this one or even like trying to think all the way back to whenever we first got Curiosity, like those first couple weeks on board, you know, where it is you are just trying to figure out so many different things and get the boat ready for you and how you intend to use it. And it's like the dinghy, I can give you so many examples right now, but the dinghy is one, right? Like it's on here, but it's not level, so the water doesn't drain out. And when it lifts, like they've got to redo their little lifting points. But those are things that it's like you get the boat and then you get the tender and then you got to make the tender fit to the boat. And that always takes finagling. And I remember us doing that, right? The laundry list of all the little warranty items that you've got to get fixed and everything else. And it's just, it really can be so overwhelming. And there is this air of like, oh, but you've got a new boat, you should be so happy, and you're just out sailing and having a wonderful time, and you are, but it's also just a lot. I think the true enjoyment comes after you've worked out all the kinks, you've gone through all your teething issues, and you kind of have a groove down. That's the sweet spot. And after, you know, 5 years of owning our boat, I felt like that's where we were. That boat fit like a glove. and we knew everything about it. We knew all of its quirks and how to fix crap at that point. And now here we are, we're gonna be starting all over. And so watching Nick and Terysa go through all of this and watching their list grow, and then me realizing, ooh, we might have a similar, I'm gonna write that down on my, like, we're gonna need to get mousing line. I didn't have that on my list. Ooh, we're gonna need this. Didn't have that down on my list. There's just so many little things. So it's been very helpful to be here, watch them go through the process and sort of kind of prepare ourselves for this same experience. And it's good to also kind of have that reality check of it's not going to necessarily be easy. Considering it is our last night aboard, we are going to shore for dinner now that we are on Samui, and we are looking out and watching the planes come in, which is where we will be tomorrow.
We get some food, a drink, have a little fun. It's our last night. Whoop whoop! Party! Right? Right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's all tired.
First time to try the wheels. Nick's excited.
Terysa, is this your first fire show?
Yeah, it is.
Seriously, ever?
Well, I mean, to this level, yeah. I mean, I've been to Thailand before, and you do have the people on the beach, like, doing a fire show, but this is on a whole other level, I think. Usually it's just like one guy, or, you know, this is like a performance.
Oh!
Yes, that just happened. I didn't like that at all. That was really scary.
Well, look, your stray baby hairs on top, not a problem anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, it's officially time for us to head out. And I gotta say, this has not been the trip we thought it was gonna be, like, at all. But it has been an amazing trip in so many other different ways that we didn't expect at all. I thought we would learn a lot from this trip. I think we've learned even more than I anticipated. But more importantly, I think we've set some realistic expectations for ourselves as of what these first few days will actually look like. And hopefully it will make us a little bit more prepared. So thank you, Nick and Terysa, for that experience. And also for letting us on your boat at a very vulnerable time, right? Because you are out of your element, really not sure what to expect, you're not comfortable with it. So yeah, let us see that side of you. So I appreciate that. And it was very helpful to us. And then we also asked a couple of nights ago, just because we were feeling all of like the, holy crap, this is a lot more going wrong than we anticipated. Not wrong, but it's just figuring, teething issues, overwhelmed, figuring things out. And so we're like, what sage advice do you have for us? You know, if you could go back a week ago and give yourselves advice, what would you say?
Try and center yourself.
Yeah.
If you're living in the past, you're depressed, and if you're living in the future, you're anxious. So if you're always worried about the future and what's going to happen tomorrow or the next week, you just spend yourself riddled with anxiety. So I try and spend it at least once a day, like just center yourself, appreciate that what you've got is amazing, and the stuff that needs to be fixed will be fixed tomorrow or the day after and the day after. But if you're obsessing about what you need to do, you don't actually understand what you've got here. That's one thing.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think just like enjoy the moment. And I think also people, like, we've obviously been documenting our whole experience on our own YouTube channel, and a lot of people are saying you must be so excited to finally be on the boat. And it's like, I am excited, but like we've been waiting for maybe 2 years, and the excitement doesn't like build up in a linear way, and then you reach like this kind of climax of excitement, and that's, you're just like so pumped to be on board. It kind of, the excitement kind of comes, is like a roller coaster. And when you finally get on board your boat that you've been waiting for so long, and you guys are the same, and a lot of people who are buying new boats have to wait a long time for them anyway. I would say, like, don't put pressure on yourself to feel a certain way. Like, it's okay if you're just looking around going, wow, this is really overwhelming, this, like, I should be feeling more excited than I am, or I like am just feeling all the emotions, rather than, okay, you know, everyone is saying that we should be super pumped right now, and I am super pumped. I'm really excited and relieved, but I'm also kind of decompressing from, frankly, and I've spoken about this on my channel, like quite a stressful process, and it's going to take me a while to like go through that whole process and feel at home on this boat. This boat is our home, and you know, it's going to take a while for it to feel like home. So I think that just be patient with yourself, be kind to yourself, and just enjoy the moment and enjoy every moment. Yeah, that's kind of my advice.
And look, it is a first world problem. I think we need to always
Yeah,
say, like, this is a real first world problem. So, like,
Sure, but
just
your
put that-
emotions right in this moment are very real.
Yeah, look,
That's not to say that it's hard or difficult or anything like that. It just is the emotion.
No, I'm exhausted. I'm absolutely
Yeah.
exhausted. I'm literally.
It's a big project. Like, we are finding little things on the boat that we're like, okay, because this is hull number 2, so this boat and hull number 1 hasn't been sailed yet, so this is really like a test sail for not just us but also the manufacturer. They're constantly checking it, like, how are you guys, how are you finding everything, and we're in this constant communication with them saying, okay, this doesn't quite work, or we've noticed this issue, which you will never figure out or find out until you're actually living on the boat and sailing it. And so there's just like these teething problems, which are totally normal, but they are sucking up some energy, and like little things that we're learning about the boat that's sucking up energy. And you know, we have, as we've already discussed, have to learn how to sail in a different way. So it's kind of like information overload.
lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
So that's it. We're going to pack these bags up, get out of their hair, let them enjoy their beautiful new boat all by themselves. They can run around naked, do whatever. Anyway, thanks so much for joining us, and we will see you back at the factory. Yeah, time for a boat update.
Bye guys.
Bye!
So how am I gonna get all this stuff on a tender?